Hello. Welcome to the Crispy Noodle Podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And yeah, we're starting off strong here. We're still hungover from the Super Bowl.
Apparently.
From Valentine's Day. Sorry about that. I did not unmute myself when we came back from the video there. But thank you guys for joining us. This is how you know you're in for a wacky ride. You never know what you're going to get here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But yeah, we do want to talk to you about Super Bowl, a couple of other things that have happened in the past week. So we do have some news to get to, but before we do that, Mikey, how you doing now that you're unmuted?
It's a whole new world now that I'm unmuted.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah, so I've been doing a pretty good job of catching up on as many Oscar Best Picture nominees as possible.
Oh yeah, this is your goal?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've watched 5 so far, and I tackled the granddaddy of them all. The 19-hour saga, Killers of the Flower Moon.
It's not that long.
No, it's not. It's 3. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
Because you don't have Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, this is BS. I can't do the stuff I want to do.
I saw Martin Scorsese's new film, but you didn't.
Yeah.
So who's the real fan?
This is some BS with the licensing, and yeah, I don't want to have to support Apple in the middle of all this.
You should want to support your buddy Martin over there, Marty. He had a really good movie. I'll tell you what.
He knows how to make a movie.
He does know how to make a movie. I do still stand by what I say, in that his movies feel longer than they actually are. Because Oppenheimer was a 3-hour movie that felt like a 2-hour movie. Killers of the Flower Moon was a 3.5-hour movie that felt almost 5 hours long. It was a very, very long movie. But it was still I think it was a worthwhile ride that talked about, it's based on true events, a subject that doesn't get a lot of attention. And it was just a wonderful period piece. The acting was great. The directing was great. The story was gripping. I don't think it was as good as Oppenheimer. And I'm still torn on where to place it exactly, because I also saw The Holdovers, which right now The Holdovers and Killers of the Flower Moon are tied for second best on my personal ranking list.
But where's Barbie?
Barbie would be after both Holdovers and Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, okay.
So fourth. Everything is still better than Maestro. Maestro was not good.
All right.
From the movies that I've seen now. So making my way through them. Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, and or The Holdovers at 2. 2 vastly different films, but really good. Then Barbie, then Maestro.
Okay.
So I still have
Mikey's
5 more to watch.
Mikey's Oscar race. There you go. He's gonna.
So far, yeah.
You have enough time. You could do it because with the strike, it delayed the Oscars now till end of March.
Yeah, the one that's going to be tough to see is Poor Things, because that is still in theaters. Yeah. And people are like, go see it in theaters. All right, there's a lot of other stuff going on, all right?
Yeah.
It's hard to make it to the theater sometimes.
Right. Like literally we had a snowstorm here in Philly that delayed our shooting schedule.
Yeah.
And then Valentine's Day. That didn't help.
How dare the calendar do that to us?
Yeah.
That's very, very irresponsible of it.
The NFL, I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to figure out a way so that the Super Bowl isn't right behind Valentine's Day. It doesn't work for me. I keep forgetting Valentine's Day is like right around the Super Bowl now.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
And if they add a 20th week,
yeah,
if they make this a 20-week season,
they're trying to take over Valentine's Day.
Yeah, my wife's not going to have that. She's gonna go crazy. We can't have this.
No, the NFL's got to
start the season earlier.
Well, they could. What I would think that they would do is take a preseason week and just convert it to a regular season week. That makes the most sense.
Yeah. Do we need?
And you keep the same, span of time.
Yeah. Do we need all 3 preseason games now? Can we just shorten that to 2 now?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
You need to fit in an extra bye week, though.
Oh my God!
No,
you
move the Pro Bowl to after the Super Bowl again.
Just Roger Goodell, just do something about this, because I cannot handle the Super Bowl being right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was only like, what was it, like 3 days before Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I forget it's right there.
We didn't do anything for Valentine's Day, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Okay, I did.
What did you get up to?
We had a nice little dinner at Black Lab Bistro on Bridge Street in Phoenixville.
Okay, nice.
Really nice dinner. It was, It was a nice like seafood dinner.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know,
Doing
this
something
is-
fancy.
It was like, yeah, it's a time to splurge. You know,
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Nice.
So that was nice. It felt fancy. You know,
I think
I'll
it's
have the bisque.
it's a the bisque.
Yes.
I think it's important to have a nice like treat yourself type dinner every once in a while. You know.
I wish I was an octopus. A f***ing octopus. 8 loving arms and all those suckers. Know what I mean?
Did you have octopus?
No, I actually didn't. But
Ah.
that would have been a seafood option.
That would have been,
Could have had
yeah.
octopus.
Do you like octopus? Have you had octopus?
I've had it like deep fried, which I feel like is a cop out because that doesn't mean
Deep
I feel like
fried,
that doesn't
yeah.
really taste like
I've had
the octopus.
grilled octopus,
Uh-huh.
and some I've really liked and some I haven't. I realize this is a big tangent, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, very good, very good. Good job, Mike.
Go try octopus. That's all I'm gonna say. It's weird.
Yep. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for being accommodating that we had to shoot this podcast later than usual.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is also too with the NFL season like ending. You know, we'll get into Super Bowl in just a minute, but like it kind of felt like this is like the end of the season. Like it's like if this was a TV show, this is the finale. It's like wow,
This is the season finale.
I mean, in terms of like the
For us.
NFL, like
And then what? Next week is the season premiere.
well, whenever the build up is to the draft, yeah.
I used to try to do that. We used to do 50 episodes a year. There was always like 1 or 2 weeks where we had off,
Yeah.
and they were like nice. We used to mark like the anniversary of the podcast. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore because time is a flat circle.
Right, and I have no idea.
I don't
what-
remember how many years we've been doing this. I know
Right.
it's just in the ballpark of like somewhere between 8 and 11.
I think we're at 10.
Are we at 10?
I think so, yeah.
Is this our 10th anniversary? We didn't do anything?
I think so.
Oh, man.
Whoops. Yeah, I don't know what
Oh,
you
well.
want from us. Yeah,
I don't know.
Look, we're so focused on football and the news. That's what matters.
If we were better at planning,
Yeah.
does this be like a fun, fancy episode?
No. We got to get to the Super Bowl at hand.
Right.
So let's do it. Without further ado, let's launch into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Sports coming at you in your face. All right, let's get to the big game. Super Bowl was on Sunday, and the Chiefs beat the 49ers in overtime 25-22. The first half was kind of boring, but then it picked up in the second half and forced the second ever Super Bowl to go into overtime. And there, Patrick Mahomes surged ahead and won on a game-winning touchdown called Corn Dog, which I love. The play is called Corn Dog. I love Andy Reid. Every time I want to hate Andy Reid, I can't because he's willing to name all of his plays after food.
You can't hate Big Red.
Yeah.
And I think, if Bill Belichick hadn't have been a thing, Andy Reid would have gone down as the best coach of all time.
He's still got time, and apparently he
does.
said he's not retaring.
No, yeah, he said he's not thinking about it.
Yeah,
I mean, his career has been stellar.
I don't know. He gets if he squeezes 2 more Super Bowl, if he can get 5 Super Bowls, I think that puts him over Belichick.
Yeah,
Because
but
Belichick,
what are the odds he pulls off 2 more wins?
he could get another one next year. I mean, this Kansas City Chiefs team is pretty much coming back.
As long as Patrick Mahomes is
Yeah.
quarterback there, they're always going to have a shot. This dude put the team on his back and almost won the game single-handedly. He led the team in not just passing, obviously, but also in rushing yards. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy does everything.
And you know what, too? No, he probably is going to surpass Belichick in total wins. Because right now, Belichick can't add to his total.
Right.
He doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
So you know what? Screw it. If he gets another Super Bowl, I think you have a fair conversation to have. Is he better than Belichick?
Well, he's been to 5 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah,
And
one
he's
with
won
the Eagles,
3.
and he lost one with the Chiefs, and then obviously 3 with Mahomes.
Right. That's a pretty good resume for any head coach. I
Yeah.
think it definitely puts him in contention for like top 5 coaches all time.
Oh yeah,
If he wins, if he three-peats, which a lot of people think he could
Yeah.
next year, that's like top 2 or 3 coaches all time, like all time.
You know what? If he three-peats next year, yeah, put him ahead of Belichick. I don't want Belichick. Screw him.
Belichick still has more appearances and wins, but how many coaches have three-peated?
Right. I don't think there's.
Not off the top of my head. I'm not sure. I'm sure.
I don't think anybody has in the NFL.
Nobody?
Not
Wow.
in the NFL. Basketball they had. Yeah, you had Jordan,
basketball's
Lakers.
like a fake sport when it comes to championships like that. Basketball and baseball, like teams are winning like 20-some championships each. Like that doesn't. It's not like football. More parity.
Numbers are weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Stupid basketball. But back to football. This is the last hurrah for football.
Yeah.
I mean, so just general reaction to the game. Super boring first half, like you said. But it was exactly played out like we said. It was a defensive game.
Yep.
From the start. Very close defensive game. And I was really surprised that the Kansas City Chiefs struggled as much as they did. They were fumbling the ball, had the interception, couldn't get anything going on the ground. I mean, they
four times they placed the ball on the ground, but luckily 3 times they recovered it.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed to be breaking their way, and sometimes that's what you need when you have, 2 of the best teams going up against each other. But I think, though, that the 49ers got revealed a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I think that everybody's, like, praising Brock Purdy, but Jalen Hurts had a much better game against the Kansas City Chiefs last year, against a Chiefs team that was much better, I think. Do you agree or disagree?
So what? So better losing quarterback effort?
Yeah.
I guess it's Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts did a lot more.
Jalen Hurts had a near perfect game. He had 4 touchdowns, 300-some yards, 70 yards on the ground. I mean,
he had an octopus.
I wish I was an octopus. A f***ing octopus. 8 loving arms and all those suckers. Know what I mean?
Yep, he had the octopus.
Going back to the octopus. I don't know. I just hate the 49ers. I'm so happy that they lost.
Yeah, do you want to just dive into the 49ers hate?
I don't know how anybody can like the 49ers. I think that they are a team with a bad culture. Because all they do is, after losses, it's just excuses. And, we had it here in Philadelphia when we beat them. They hounded, and it's not like the fans hounding fans or players. Players were constantly coming back to that loss, a year later. And then after the loss, well, our practice facility was bad, and this and that, and we didn't know the overtime rules, and all it is complaints. And it comes from the top down because Kyle Shanahan goes, "Oh, all of our coaches are coming back next year." 36 hours later, the defensive coordinator is fired.
Yeah, that was startling.
That was startling.
He held Mahomes to 19 points in regulation. I don't know what more you want from the guy.
I don't know. He clearly a sacrificial lamb to take the focus off the fact that Kyle Shanahan blew 3 Super Bowls with double-digit leads.
Yeah.
1 as an offensive coordinator, 2 as head coach.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be the offensive genius, and all of a sudden, when it matters, they can't convert downs.
And also, arguably, one of the most talented rosters in football. I mean, they have Pro Bowlers and All-Pros at, almost every position. Name a position that is weak on that roster.
Quarterback.
I didn't say it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think they got revealed a little bit. It was a close game, but it was really that defense hanging in there for them. They arguably had the easier path to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Chiefs had it harder.
They ran away with the NFC. And
they almost blew it too.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, almost blew it to the Packers and to the Lions.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm reveling in their loss a little too much, but I'm glad that they lost.
I still feel like the AFC is just so much. It's just so superior. You take all the AFC teams, those final 4 AFC teams, I think they all go toe to toe and beat the NFC teams.
Yeah, I think so.
They're just on a whole nother level.
Like, you look at some of the top NFC teams, you had like a Packers team that really struggled to get in. They showed a lot of fire and gumption, but like, I don't think they're not setting the world on fire. The Lions, first time ever in the playoffs in like 400 years. You know, a lot of teams, the Cowboys, who always choke. And then you go to the other side, you're right. You got like Josh Allen and the Bills. I mean, one of the most fearsome teams that have not won a Super Bowl, but should have. Even teams who missed the playoffs, like the Bengals previous years, have been nigh unstoppable.
Yeah.
You got Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. You know, my personal opinions of Lamar Jackson aside, that team is ferocious, running the ball and defending. Yeah, I think you're right that the quality is just not there on the NFC side of the ball, on the NFC side of the league.
And I think it showed with this 49ers team. I mean, they were the champions of the NFC, but they didn't look strong winning those games. And then going into the Super Bowl, sure, they were up 10 points, but it faded away fast in that second half. And boy, Mahomes, he is on a whole. He's officially now on the path to being Tom Brady territory. I mean, 3 Super Bowl wins, 5 years. I mean, he really could outpace Brady at this clip.
Yeah, stats are better than Brady's at this point when you compare, this point in their career, toe to toe.
And next year, it's pretty much this identical team is coming back. They have a couple of questions, but not really major glaring player problems.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing they need to address is wide receiver. If they get somebody just like halfway talented at wide receiver, they're going to continue to dominate.
Yeah. So the Super Bowl. It was it was interesting to see another overtime Super Bowl.
It was exciting.
That end of the game was exciting.
And really highlighted the rules changes because it came into play. The 49ers, of course, didn't know
apparently
the rules, didn't know how overtime works, didn't know what to do. Whatever. That's your job. It's like they didn't read the employee handbook.
Yep.
They didn't do the training modules. But it brought up a lot of interesting questions because there's been some discussion. The Chiefs were kind of excited that San Fran decided to receive the overtime kickoff, which throughout our entire lives has been the way to do it. In overtime, you want the kickoff because if you go down and score, you win the game. But because of the new rules, if anybody's forgotten, both teams now are guaranteed at least one possession.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs. So getting the ball first, some people are saying, is a disadvantage because depending on what you do with your possession, the other team, the second team, knows that whether it's 4-down football or whether they just have to play for a field goal. So it kind of gives them, some are saying, a strategic edge. What do you think?
Yes, and I want to go back.
He's going to bring up the coin flip.
Yes, I'm telling you, the Rich Eisen solution, whoever gets the coin toss to start the game should get the ball to start the overtime period. That is the fairest way to do it. That way we know without a doubt who gets the ball in the overtime period, and the teams, as they lead up to the fourth quarter, they know what's on the other side of the end of regulation. That takes away the unfairness. It takes away the coin toss, another coin toss from happening to determine the advantage in overtime. It's the fairest way to do it, I'm telling you. But the NFL's not having it, and I'm very disappointed.
No. just no. Because I like the coin flip. And I think,
not the second coin. Really? You like the second coin flip?
I like the second coin flip because this Super Bowl highlighted that there is strategy behind whether or not you get that kickoff. Just winning the coin flip doesn't mean.
Actually, this is the Super Bowl that my coin toss rule would have been perfect for.
Why?
Because the 49ers got the ball first in regulation, right? In the first quarter.
Okay.
Right? I'm pretty
Right.
sure. I'm 100% sure.
I think so, yeah.
All right. So, by the rules that the Rich Eisen overtime rules, we know that in overtime they get the ball first.
Right.
And then it's sudden death.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Well,
So-
wait. It's
so-
not sudden death.
No,
though.
but this would be if this was the Rich Eisen rule.
So wait, you're not only removing the coin toss, but you're going back to sudden death.
The whole. I mean, look, if you kick a field goal, no, then the other team gets a shot. But the touchdown thing, if you score a touchdown, that should be the end of the game.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Anyway, the whole point of this is when the Chiefs are driving down the field in the fourth quarter, they had to settle for a field goal to force overtime.
Yeah.
Well, Andy Reid, if the Rich Eisen rule was in place, they would know going into overtime they would not get the ball back.
Right.
So maybe he would have been a little more gutsy, and he would have tried to win the game on that final drive, as opposed to kicking for a field goal.
No, this was way more exciting because in that scenario, Andy Reid goes for it on like I don't know something stupid like a 4th and 9. And
They were down at the goal line.
and
It
it's
would have
like-
been like it would have been
well in
third
this
and goal, 4th and goal.
in this specific scenario, but in the grand scheme of things, every other game, it would end like I don't know. There's something special about lining up for a long field goal, nailing it, and sending your team into overtime. But if teams are playing this 4-down football because they know that if they only kick the field goal, they won't get the ball back, then they're going for it on something stupid like 4th and 9. It's just like a batted pass to end the game, and that's boring. Nobody wants that. That's not exciting. That sucks the adrenaline out of it. To have all the
But it also ends the game early too. We all have work on Monday.
No. Yes, that was a downside for people who didn't take off like me. I took off, so I was like, fine, whatever. This game could go to midnight for all
Oh,
I
you
care.
fancy pants.
Yeah. It should be a national. That if there's anything that should change, it should be that Super Bowl Monday is a national holiday. That's the real thing that should change here. But in terms of
Yeah.
overtime rules, I think that teams absolutely need one possession each in overtime.
For
Because
a playoff game.
because you're at
okay.
right, you're at the stage where these teams are the best there are in the league. And if they're already tied, why should one final score, when they've been going back and forth all game, why should one final score be like, oh, that's the score that ends it? Well, why not any other score before that? If we're just going to pick a random score to end it, that doesn't make sense. Give the other team a chance to respond if they've been responding all game. I say make them play until one team doesn't score. Have as many
doesn't
overtime
score at all.
Well, you know what I mean. But
Equal.
yeah, I want
Okay.
them. I want them to go until one team can't keep up.
Okay.
I liked it the way that it was.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So we'll agree
Yeah.
to disagree.
Yeah, because I like the coin
because
toss.
you want the coin toss thing.
Yeah.
I'd think that you would like more coin tosses.
No, I
The
want.
gambler in you would be like, oh yeah, what's it gonna be?
Well, no, because apparently it could be a disadvantage now.
It's more strategery.
Okay, Bush. We're gonna have some strategery over there.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, overtime. I don't know. I feel like we're never gonna have like a solid answer to overtime. It's always gonna get
No.
tweaked.
Yeah,
But
we should make them fight to the death at midfield.
no, field goal kicking competition.
That would be fun.
Yeah, put the foot back in football.
Now, do you have both teams take the field? Like, are there always rushers to try and block the field goal, or is it just pure field goal skill based?
Yeah.
That one.
Or how about it's a rush to who can progressively go from like 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to midfield.
Oh, you mean you set them up at like opposite ends of the field?
Yeah, and they got to run. They got to run as fast as they can to kick a field goal at the 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 and the 50.
So you mean literally set up a ball every 10 yards apart, and the kicker's just sprinting back and forth kicking?
Yes.
That should be one of the Pro Bowl competitions. I don't actually watch the Pro Bowl, but I feel like that'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, do that. Do that for the Pro Bowl. I'll watch that.
I'd sign up to watch that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Anyway, what a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Speaking of kicking, the longest field goal record was broken twice in one game.
Yes. Should have taken that bet last week.
Yeah. I was watching the game with some people who don't regularly watch the big game, and they were like, "Is this amazing?" I'm like, "Yes, you don't understand." No, I was trying to explain that you don't understand.
I just love the way you phrase, is this amazing?
Yeah, because I was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god, they just get just 2 50-yard field goals in the Super Bowl." Because when we were growing up, kicking a football, making a field goal from 50 yards
was crazy.
That was not a given. Like, David Akers would line up for like a 51-yarder and we'd be like, oh, he's got like a 40% chance to make this.
Yeah.
Jake Elliott lines up at 60, and I'm like, that's probably in.
Yeah, he's
No,
nuts.
I mean, really.
yeah.
And they put up the stat that there have only been 7 50-yard field goals in Super Bowl history, but there were 3 this past Super Bowl of more than 50 yards. That's insane.
Yeah, putting the foot back in football.
That's right. You should run on that. You should
Harrison-
run on that slogan.
Harrison Butker had 4 field goals.
Yeah.
He had the majority of
Why
the
wasn't
Chiefs'
he
points.
MVP?
Yeah, he should be the MVP.
Show some love to kickers. Adam Vinatieri could be up for Hall of Fame.
Vote
next
him
year.
in.
Vote him in.
He literally won 2 Super Bowls for the Patriots.
Yeah. Without
and
him,
another one for the Colts.
without Vinatieri, would Brady and Belichick be remembered like they are?
They might be down 2 Super Bowls.
All of a sudden, they're just schlub Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Super Bowl has happened, and also Taylor Swift is happy.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even mention that. I thought you'd like this stat I saw, that Taylor Swift has appeared in more Super Bowls than the Dallas Cowboys since 1996.
Yay! Take that, Cowboys.
I like that. I've been seeing that meme.
Yeah.
It's just Taylor Swift on one side and the Cowboys on the other. And it's Super Bowls since 96, 1 and 0.
There you go. So there you go. Super Bowl is in the books. The Kansas City Chiefs have done it. The first back-to-back champions in 20 years.
Yeah.
And they're in a dynasty right now. And, boy, could they be the first team to three-peat? It would be amazing if they could pull it off.
That would be something else. Fun fact as well, the Eagles were involved in both of those back-to-back Super Bowl
That's right.
victories.
Yep.
So we're good at helping other
Look, I'll
teams
tell you
have
what.
dynasties.
I think I might have mentioned it last week. The win makes me feel better as an Eagles fan.
That we lost to a dynasty instead of like some scrub team.
Right. If the 49ers had won the Super Bowl, that's like a hurt on double fronts.
Yeah.
Because that would have hurt. Obviously, we don't like the 49ers, but also, did we actually face the best team last year?
Right.
You know, but now it's like definitively, oh, yeah, this is a dynasty that they're in the middle of.
Yeah.
So, I'm happy.
I agree.
And golf is coming back soon.
That another reason
Woo!
to be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But before we get to golf, we have other sports news to get to.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about something with the Eagles here.
Yeah, we can't go through the end of the season without talking a little bit about the Eagles. Just a topic that's popped up recently regarding our premier edge rusher, Hassan Reddick. He is looking for a new deal. And it's rumored to be in the range of $25 million a year. He wants Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett type money. The problem is the Eagles don't want to give it to him. He's 29.
No.
And so they've given him permission to seek a trade. He says that he didn't ask for a trade. He wants to stay, but that he believes he's underpaid. So a few things here. One, Hassan Reddick is definitely underpaid for what he's produced over the past couple of years. But do you think he's worth $25 million a year at 29 years old?
I mean, yeah, this is going to be his last time to cash in on a major contract in his career. So, yeah, this doesn't surprise me. No, I think that's.
Do you think he's worth it?
I mean, it's one of those.
You're Howie Roseman. Do you sign that check? Because you do what, a 3-year, 4-year extension
Yeah, if it's a 3-year extension, I'd be fine with it.
at $25 million a year?
He's a really good defensive presence. You can't. Doesn't he have the highest number of sacks the last?
I think he has
2 years.
20. I think it's like 27 or 29 sacks in 2 years. So
Yeah,
back-to-back double-digit sack seasons.
I would think so.
I think part of what could fuel this decision is, and I haven't seen many people talk about it, I think our defensive line is in serious trouble.
Correct.
Now, you stop me if I'm going overboard, but I think we're about to see a major change in Philadelphia when it comes to defensive line play. We've been spoiled recently with a crazy rotation of very talented players, but consider this for 2024. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, both, 35, 34, somewhere up there, either retiring or moving to new teams. I feel like that's almost guaranteed at this point.
Definitely Cox.
Definitely Cox.
Cox
yeah.
has lost a step. He's
Yeah.
He is definitely not the player he was from the Super Bowl team.
So both those guys could be gone. We also need to make decisions on contract years for defensive tackle Milton Williams and defensive end Josh Sweat, both of them coming into the final years of their contracts. We also have an completely unknown factor in Nolan Smith. And of course, we have the up-and-coming studs Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, who show real promise, but they fell off. Jordan Davis now falling off midway through 2 seasons in a row. Jalen Carter having the super hot start and then kind of disappearing. Now, part of that is due to double teams and increased focus, but also part of that might just be conditioning and getting used to the NFL schedule, but still concerning that they just vanish after about 10 weeks. So I guess, is there real cause for concern, or am I just kind of like preemptively hitting the panic button on the defensive line here?
No, I think you're in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
Because definitely Cox and Graham. I it's a shame because they're heroes from the Super Bowl team.
Yep.
But we got to make calls on them.
Yeah, they're on the wrong side of 35.
Yeah, they're not producing at the same level that they once were. So unless they're willing to come back on a really cheap deal, I think you got to look at moving off of them, and that's gonna suck because Brandon Graham, literally a legend for what he did in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. But
Yeah. I mean, Brandon Graham is 35 as a defensive end. I think it's going to be tough to make a case for bringing him back.
yeah,
And then Fletcher Cox is 33, but at that age, at that size, that's
he
going to be...
lost a step last year.
Yeah, he definitely did. And losing these guys is not just losing the talent that they bring, but also the locker room presence to leaders on that team, but also the ability to rotate in and out. And you saw later in the year when we couldn't rotate guys as frequently, just the play of the entire defense and the line specifically just absolutely tanked. So, I mean, what do you think? Is that fueling this Hassan Reddick thing? Do you think maybe we need to just put down the money just to keep some semblance of... Because what do you roll with in 2024?
Right. I would think you move Reddick into like the new leadership role.
Yeah, because otherwise you're rolling out Milton Williams and Josh Sweat in contract years, Nolan Smith, completely unproven, and then Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, who can't stay on the field reliably.
Well, the Jalen Carter,
he will be.
Yeah, I think he
will be.
Yeah. So
I mean, he was, I think, second in defensive rookie of the year voting.
Yeah.
So he'll be there.
He'll be a factor. But I think to have the established veteran presence, you definitely want Reddick back.
Yeah. So you're going pay the man.
Well, I mean,
when you paint that picture,
it's either him or you're on the phone right now calling and asking for a second-round pick and nothing less.
Yeah. Oh, if he gets traded for less than a second, I think that would be criminal.
Yeah. Because I heard that there was some interest from Detroit. I don't know how.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know how much that. Because apparently Detroit has an extra second-round pick. So I heard that would be a pretty fair trade, would be Lions ship over a second-round pick for Reddick. If Reddick is dismayed with the current situation.
You wouldn't want, like, what did Khalil Mack get back in the day? He got a first and something extra, didn't he?
Which trade? The one to the Bears or the one to the Chargers? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The one to the... No, wait, he went, to the Bears. Yeah, the Bears forked over a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, they went crazy.
So not that.
Yeah, not that.
You don't think we're getting that
No.
kind of compensation?
I think they got like 2 first-rounders and 2 second. Yeah.
What about 1 first-rounder?
No, you're not
No.
getting a first-rounder for... no, not for Reddick.
Yeah. 25 seems a little high to me, but...
A second-rounder, though, you can get.
It would have to be a high second.
Well, Lions, I think they have a pick in 68, 67, somewhere around there.
I don't know.
I'm going off the top of my head, but
I'd rather keep Hassan Reddick, but not at $25 million.
I would rather keep Reddick, but if it is true that he's not happy with the contract situation and he's looking for a way out, there you go. Call up Detroit. Get your second rounder.
All right. Well, there you have it. Hassan Reddick on the trade block, defensive line in trouble. We'll see how that plays out. It's going to be I think, an upsetting offseason for a lot of Eagles fans.
Yes, yes. All right, well, let's turn to the most Canadian story ever, eh?
Let's do it, eh?
This is a story that
What's it about?
This is a story that I wanted to tell Mike, and it inadvertently came up over dinner conversation, so I had to mention it. This is the most Canadian story that I've heard in quite a while. Going to the National Hockey League, there was a big game of Toronto versus Ottawa, the soul of Canada at stake in this game. Ottawa goes up by 2 goals late in a regular season game, and Toronto decides to pull their goalie. It's the common strategy,
Right.
So that you get an extra defender, extra player on the ice, and hopefully you get a score. You reduce the lead to 1, and then anything can happen. Maybe you tie the game up in the last minute. But what happens is when you pull the goalie, there's nobody guarding the net. So other teams, if they successfully defend against you, they can score an empty net goal.
Right.
Ottawa, they came out, they intercepted a pass right away, and Ottawa, the lead Ottawa player, intercepted the pass, took the puck, skated all the way down the ice, gets within 2 or 3 feet of the empty netter, and slap shots the goal into the net, the puck into the net, and that's kind of a big, that's like you're basically spitting in the other team's face that you've won the game. I mean, you usually just need to do a quick little wrist shot. You don't need to do a big dramatic slap shot into the net. It's just seen as, unsportsmanlike and
Disrespectful.
Correct. And Toronto took that play very personally. Because as the player from Ottawa was celebrating, Toronto came and did a massive cheap shot behind him, tackling the other person into the ice, and there was a big brouhaha, and that Toronto player got a 5-game suspension. But one of those situations that everybody in the league is talking about, is that fair or foul? And I'm going to do a spoiler right here. Everybody, I think, thinks that this is fair, other than the Toronto Maple Leafs. But what do you say, Mike?
Yeah, no, the suspension is, if we're doing fair or foul, the suspension, I think it's absolutely fair. Because cheap shotting a player, attacking them is not, that's just against the rules. You're not allowed to do that. Like in any sport.
Yeah.
Especially in that manner. But I watched the clip, and I gotta say, I don't see it. Maybe it's just because I'm not as well versed in the culture of hockey, but the slap shot didn't seem that egregious to me. And maybe it's worse for hockey players and people in the know. But when I watched the clip in real time, I'm like, okay, like he shot the puck. It didn't seem like that even big of an unsportsmanlike thing to me.
Well,
to begin with,
it is in
but
hockey.
I will have to say, I guess I have to defer to the people in the know that it is a slight in the hockey fandom. Slight or not, it doesn't warrant the cheap shot.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. It's unsportsmanlike, sure, maybe, whatever. But it's not illegal.
Right.
He didn't, kick your baby. He didn't,
wow.
He didn't,
that really went from 0 to 100.
He didn't, punch your dog or something. He
right as he's skating back into the empty netter, he just swings and clotheslines a baby.
He does the slap shot on the follow through. He just clubs a baby. No, it's sure I get angry, but the cheap shot, that's always going to draw a penalty, a fine, a suspension, whatever in any sport.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, totally fair to suspend the player. Absolutely 100% deserved.
Yeah, everybody.
I don't understand what the argument is. I guess their argument is that, it was unsportsmanlike. Okay, but barely, 1, and 2, who cares? Play better.
Yeah. See, that's my thing is I always have the mentality that like taunting with the NFL, if your defense isn't good enough to stop an offensive player from scoring in your end zone, that's your fault. If someone scores a touchdown on you, I think they're allowed to do whatever they want. They can do whatever celebration they want.
But here's the thing is
You
that
know?
the NFL allows celebrations, and players do celebrations, and they, when they're running into the end zone, they stop and they do their little dance, or they turn backwards and do backflips, and all of that's allowed. What's not allowed is getting up in somebody's face in the NFL, which is, I think, fair because that's a more directed, antagonistic thing, the actual penalty of taunting. But the celebrating, the going over the top, that's all fine, So this thing falls into the same realm for me as celebrating a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he went up into a guy's face and was like, hey, 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 or did anything like that. He was just a little overexcited.
Yeah, he was going to get an empty netter goal.
In making the shot. It's just like an NFL team doing a big, huge team dance celebration. You got to deal with it.
Yeah, especially when you're on the losing side.
Yeah. Because odds are, you guys are going to do it to somebody else later down the line.
Well, I don't know. The nice people of Canada, they're not going to do that.
Apparently they're not so nice. Because one person was unsportsmanlike and the other person just outright decked a dude.
Well, it is hockey. So when that's, the end-all be-all for Canadian athletes. It's very important.
Yeah.
So definitely was interesting to watch if you wanted some non-football news this past week. If there was too much Super Bowl coverage.
Too much? What?
That was the non-football sports news. And also, it was just hilarious. I hate to say it because I'm sure the guy was hurting the next day. But, he's, celebrating in the corner, and then, this guy just comes blindsides him.
He comes up. I think he, leads with his stick. It's
it's
ugly.
It's an ugly shot.
Yeah. So I totally get the suspension. I don't understand how Toronto's oh, no.
Yeah, and that's another thing, too.
He definitely didn't deserve that. In what world?
That's another thing, too, is, everybody that pointed this out, for Toronto, they're upset that he took a slap shot on an empty netter. So then what other unspoken rules are we going to actually say are worthy of a cheap shot then if you're going to defend this guy?
Yeah.
What do we need a whole written list of things that aren't illegal in the NHL rule book but are, quote, unsportsmanlike and you could get decked for if you do on the ice?
Yeah.
Where does that line stop if you're going to defend this guy?
It's ridiculous because, again, to my untrained eye, it didn't look that bad, the slap shot.
No, but it's the spirit of it.
It's the spirit of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they say. You're not supposed to do that for a empty netter.
I think that it falls under the same category as celebrating a touchdown. Are players not allowed to high step into the end zone? Are they not allowed to hold the ball out and or run along the end zone line? Those aren't penalties when they do that. I feel like it's the same vibe as that. If the player had made the slap shot and then immediately skated over the goalie and screamed in his face, okay, that's uncalled for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hockey is bizarre to me.
They have a point system. You got a point for an overtime
you
loss.
Get points for losing? I don't understand.
Overtime loss.
Overtime loss.
Yeah.
Does that mean San Fran got points for losing in overtime in the Super Bowl? How does that work?
If that was a regular season game, yeah, they would have gotten points. Yeah, if you want to do that. Anyway, we got to take a break. We're a little bit over on this first half of the show, but don't go anywhere because we will have the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news and maybe a small clip if I can squeeze it in the second half of the show.
All right.
So don't go anywhere. This is the Crisp Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 in the morning, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
yes,
I love
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what
you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Rocking and rolling on a little bit of a later schedule, but, you know, you had to do what you had to do. We had snow.
It happens.
We had Super Bowl. We had snow. We had Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Everything was too much happening.
All in like
in
a
the span.
3-day span. It was too much.
Call Roger Goodell up. I can't handle this. We gotta space this out. All right, call him up.
We need to have a good sit down talk with Raj.
Yeah, start the season earlier.
Yeah.
Help us out here. The male brain cannot. We can only focus on one thing at a time. I can't multitask.
It's
for Valentine's Day in the middle of Super Bowl coverage.
It's so true, and it's
not good.
It's frightening.
And a snowstorm. I can't do it. It's too many things happening.
If you put more than like 2 things on my plate, I just shut down.
Yeah, it's no good.
Just like do like a hard reset.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hard reset, let's leave the sports realm and let's jump right into the second part of our show with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time. But before we get into the news at hand, I wanted, we used to do a bit where I would play like a sound clip.
Yeah.
Coming into entertainment entree.
Yeah, sound clip of the week.
Yeah, I used to do something like that. Well, I guess I'm kind of reviving it for a little bit here.
I love it.
Just for a quick bit here.
Okay.
I asked you before the show, Mike, have you ever heard of the Democracy Manifest meme?
Yeah, I no.
No? Okay, good. So
Do I have to be worried?
no.
Okay.
But it's fun.
Okay.
So basically about like 10, 12 years ago, a Australian news report tape came out around it was about a arrest that was made on a dude that the press thought was like a world-renowned criminal,
Okay.
but they got their information wrong, and this dude was just like a simple like credit card scammer. Like that was it.
Okay.
He was busted, but like he was only going to go to jail for like 3 months or something. Like just
But everybody thought it was some kind of worldwide like criminal mastermind.
The press thought this guy, was like the press thought this was like a worldwide criminal.
Okay.
So they showed up at the bust with all the cameras and like they filmed everything about this guy's bust. And like this guy is like all this attention's on me. And he decides to run with it. He decides to be like over the top.
Oh my gosh.
While he gets arrested.
Okay.
And it's called Democracy Manifest. And the reason why I bring this up is because they found the guy recently, because this was like the anniversary of him getting arrested in 91. And he's still as crazy as ever. But let me play the original clip for you. This is what went viral a couple years ago and is back in the limelight again. Let me play for you folks. Democracy Manifest. Poor Australian dude gets arrested. Here's the clip.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one.
Ta-ta and farewell.
And there you go. There's the legend himself, Democracy Manifest.
That was awesome.
Yes. I just love everything that happened in that clip.
I love you saying that's the man who's got my penis.
Are you ready to receive my limp penis? Yes.
I was just like, what am I being arrested for? Having a succulent Chinese meal?
Yeah, you might as well just go over the top. He had a very delicious meal.
Just
a succulent one.
A succulent one. I don't think I've ever had a succulent Chinese meal.
Oh, that's a shame.
I've had tasty ones, but not succulent.
Ooh. Yeah, you got to have one of those, Mike.
Apparently, yeah.
Turned you Australian.
The Chinese meal turns an American Australian.
Sure.
That's something else.
Yeah.
No, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
This is Democracy Manifest.
Yeah, which I still don't. I mean, I
what does that mean?
I think he's trying to say this is the end result of democracy. Is you get arrested unfairly. I guess. Because it really does seem like overkill. Like, this. So he knows that he did the crime, but he has no idea that everybody around him thinks that he's they think he's like the world-renowned criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's coming out of this Chinese meal. He's got like 10 coppers on him. He's got all this press out there waiting for him. Yeah. So it does make sense. He's like confused.
Yeah.
But he decided to ham it up there for the cameras.
Are you ready to receive my limp penis?
Yes. He touched my penis.
Oh, nice headlock there, sir.
I see you know your judo well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was good.
It's the anniversary of his arrest.
Is he free? What's he doing?
Yes, he's a free man.
Is he just going around with a limp penis? Like
so the Australian team that covered that, they caught up with him, and he's now a painter.
Okay, sure.
He's painted like a still from that video that you can buy. So if that speaks to you, you can buy a painting
from him
of what happened during Democracy Manifest.
I mean, he took his moment and he really capitalized on it.
Yep.
So
and he fed the news reporters a Chinese meal.
There you go.
There's actual B-roll if you want to Google it. Yeah,
of them having a succulent
Chinese meal with him. Yes, with Mr. Democracy Manifest. So
amazing.
A legend of the internet right there.
I might have to look up those prints and buy one or something.
Yeah, so one more time, let's honor Mr. Democracy Manifest.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one
Ta-ta and farewell.
I also love he ends with
ta-ta and farewell.
Yeah, what a way to end the news event. Yes, ta-ta and farewell.
I love how he just also turns it up to 11 the first time he's like, "Get your hands off my penis."
Yes, you gotta play it up for the cameras.
Oh man, nobody was prepared for that.
No, a legend.
The cops, the news people, nobody was prepared for that.
Legend. Yeah. So. And if you're curious, just Google Democracy Manifest and the news update will pop up. Yeah, I think he also said during the interview something like, "I had partaken in the liquid of the grape juice."
Of course.
So
that may have helped with the stuff that he was saying. Yeah.
Right. So a legend right there. Go check that out. Democracy Manifest. So there you go. I brought it back. Random sound clip of the week.
I like that. Random sound clip of the week.
Yes.
I've missed it.
Yes. All right, now to what we were originally going to talk about. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah,
I had to take over.
No, it's fine. We had to give Mr. Democracy Manifest his moment.
Yes.
But somebody else needs a moment, and that is Deadpool had a trailer for their latest film, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Coming out this summer, so it's time for a little bit of trailer talk to talk about the trailer, what we thought. And just how we envision it fitting in with the MCU. So I love the way that the trailer immediately addresses it and takes there's a quick joke in there about Disney
yes.
and the MCU. I also love the fact that it still has that raunchy, irreverent humor. And I know it seems like a weird thing to point out, but there was a bit of violence in the trailer, which shows that it's still maintaining that R rating, that Disney isn't shying away from the subject matter. Like I said that they wouldn't. Everybody was afraid they were going to tone it down, but Disney likes to print money. And if something is printing money with the way that it's going, they're not going to change the way it's printing money.
Yay, money.
So, I always assumed that it was going to continue in that vein, and it seems like it will. But what do you think? Initial reaction to the trailer? A really big focus on the TVA.
Yeah.
So what do you make of that?
Yeah. I saw our boy Matthew McFadden is in it from Succession.
Yes, he was.
I like that.
That was exciting.
Good to see him just find another project after Succession, ready to go. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what they're gonna integrate with TVA in this, because I kind of thought with how things wrapped up with Loki season 2, I thought maybe that was going to be kind of whisked away into history,
like backburnered a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make of this. People are saying that Deadpool is going to be used to kind of quote unquote fix or save the MCU, give it a much needed jolt in a different direction. Do you really think that's what's happening here, or do you think that's just hyperbole?
Yeah, I don't know if he's meant to save the MCU or if that's the tactic that they're going to use.
I mean, but do you agree that the MCU's kind of like plateaued a little bit creatively?
I wouldn't disagree.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a fair assessment.
So here's my theory. Deadpool is very fourth wall breaking, very, timeline jumping already as it stands, right? Maybe they find a way to have him just conveniently kill all the people kind of, quote unquote, ruining the MCU, aka Kang, the Conqueror. I don't know how they're going to rewrite the rest of Phase 5 and 6, but could they? Maybe.
They could, absolutely. It's not in stone.
Like, that's what Deadpool does.
Yeah.
He jumps around, he kills people, he breaks the fourth wall. Lean into it. Like, now's your opportunity to really use Deadpool the way that he should be used, as a kind of like multiversal, fourth wall breaking, crass assassin.
Yeah, why not?
Fix the MCU. I don't know if that's what they're actually going to do, but if Disney needs a reset button, this could be it.
Yeah. And I mean, you have Wolverine. That's how you bring in X-Men. Yeah. I mean, this is.
They just recently announced the casting for Fantastic Four with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I say do it. I'm tired of Phase 4 and 5.
I liked they cast the dude from Stranger Things. The guy that plays Eddie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to see him get some more.
Yeah. So interesting stuff for the MCU coming up. I'm excited to finally bring in these Fox properties and to see how they can kind of change things up. I don't think that anybody could misinterpret my lack of excitement for Phase 4 and Phase 5. But I think it kind of echoes all of the Marvel fandom in just, it just seems very wayward and mismanaged to me.
Yeah, this past 2 phases have been, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it.
I don't know if it's hyperbole, but I kind of hope that they do use Deadpool as an opportunity to kind of like just cut and trim and kill kind of some of those dead ends.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
So that was trailer talk for Deadpool and Wolverine, but we do have another big story in entertainment. We talked about it last week, and it was confirmed just today. Xbox and Microsoft had their business update, where they officially announced
big quotation marks.
Quotation marks. Because I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know what other people were expecting, but it was very, very corporate speak. Like, it was a bunch of like senior executive CEO level people talking about the health and the growth of the Xbox platform. It wasn't, it wasn't like a big showcase or game reveal. It was very much a setting expectations type talk. And I think that it's interesting to see the two sides of the coin here, where I've been going back and forth between like commenters from PlayStation fans and commenters from Xbox fans to see the kind of vibe about what was announced. So what was announced was the fact that 4 games are officially going to be going to competing consoles. They did not name those games in the update. There's been rumors as to what those games are. They are likely going to be Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Grounded. But those are not confirmed. They're going to let those developers confirm at a later date. And that, again, is why it was so corporate. They're like not actually saying anything. But what they did say, I think, was a little revealing. So they mentioned that the games that are moving to multi-platform are community-driven games or smaller games that were never intended to be platform exclusives with a lot of fanfare. I feel like that's kind of not a nice thing to say about these smaller projects. I don't think that you'd ever hear like Nintendo or Sony ever say something like that about their smaller exclusive games. Would you?
Yeah, it seems a little off.
That's a little odd. kind of like distancing language. Well, it's community driven and we want to build a community, and they weren't really meant to be exclusives. If I were that developer, I'd be like, excuse me.
I'm not good enough?
Why are we not a system seller? Why do you think that we don't deserve the fanfare? Anyway, they also mentioned that all these games are going to be more than a year old and have reached their full potential on Xbox, but they want to continue to invest in them. So kind of an admission that they did all they could do on Xbox, and now the only way to bring new life to it is to bring it to another platform. That's not completely wild. PlayStation does that by bringing games to PC, but you would never see The Last of Us on Xbox or on the Switch. And I think people are like, well, Sony ports it to PC. And they're taking that as a sign that, like, well, other companies have already done that. But I think this is different, right? Like, PC is kind of like the most open of all the platforms.
Right.
And yes, it's like a Microsoft thing, but it doesn't have to be a Microsoft thing. And the more important thing is that you're not booting up an Xbox and playing Spider-Man. Whereas in this case, you're booting up a PlayStation or a Switch and you're seeing a formerly exclusive Xbox game. PlayStation has not made that jump yet. That's a line that they have not crossed. Like, they'll go to PC, but not all the way to the other.
Yeah, to the competitors.
You're never going to see a disc with it, say, Xbox, and then a PlayStation Studios game.
Yeah.
But you may see that for PlayStation. I think that's a distinction to be made.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
I don't know. The Xbox subreddit doesn't think so.
Oh.
They think, well, this is like exactly what Sony's doing. I disagree.
No. Yeah,
I think it's a little bit of copium here.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of 49ers juice.
It's
there.
a little bit of Sony has sold 60 million PlayStation 5s and Xbox has only sold 25 million Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
They did, however, mention that specifically Starfield and Indiana Jones will not be going multi-platform, because that was what some of the rumors were discussing. But the exact quote here is a little bit nebulous. He says, quote, this is Phil Spencer, quote, "I don't think we should, as an industry, ever rule out a game going to any other platform. We're focused on these 4 games and learning from the experience." That, to me, is corporate speak for, let's see how they do. Right?
Yeah.
If they sell really well on PlayStation, do you think they're going to be like, no, we don't want to make tens of millions of dollars?
Yeah, you're not going to say no to money.
Right, especially Microsoft.
Yeah.
So, again, for me, very much corporate speak. For Xbox fans, they're like, well, these exclusives will never go to another platform. But these are already exclusives going to another platform. So, I just don't understand the mental leaps that they're making here. I think that the most telling quote, though, is when Phil Spencer openly recognizes that he anticipates exclusive games to be a smaller focus in gaming in general in the future. He says, quote, "I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry." What do you make of that statement? Is this, people say that it's not the beginning of the end, but as somebody who works in corporate speak, Rich, what is that corporate speak for?
This is the beginning of the end.
Come on, guys. Like, that is very much like
that shows
setting people up, namely fans and stockholders, that there is going to be, over the next 5 years, a shift.
Yeah.
It's like priming them. It's planting the seed.
Yeah.
Oh, exclusives aren't really a thing anyway.
Right. And if you want to make money, you don't want to stay exclusive.
You have never, ever heard Sony or Nintendo ever say that.
No.
You've never heard Nintendo say, well, Mario, like, you know, there's going to be less a focus on Mario and Kirby and Zelda. Right? It's going to be a small part of our business. Never.
Right.
And I think people are missing that key differentiating factor, that Sony and Nintendo would never, ever utter those words, and Microsoft has.
Yep. It's the white flag.
I think a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a different way that Microsoft is going to make money, but they're going to make money, and that's where you go.
Exactly. And like I said last week, console makers have done this before. Sega did it. Atari did it. It's not completely wild to imagine Xbox doing it as well. Sony and Nintendo just have the history. They're the only console manufacturers out there that have survived more than 5 console launches. That's just history.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft obviously could do it. I see them going more the Microsoft Surface route. Because, Rich, you run Windows, but you don't own a Surface. Could users hypothetically buy a Microsoft Surface laptop and get the best Microsoft Windows experience, quote unquote? Sure. And Xbox will always stay there for that. But you can also put Windows on anything else. That's where the money is.
Yep.
That's their business model.
Yep. And it doesn't matter how exactly you get to the money as long as you get the money.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if it's on Xbox or if it's on software.
And they mentioned a lot. I saw people mentioning this in the comments. The reference to hardware, not consoles. Because I think there's going to be a shift to streaming sticks, streaming boxes, handhelds, other devices to play Xbox on. Because there was a rumor that there was an internal memo to Microsoft employees that Xbox is any device with a screen.
Yeah. You could be. Yeah, you could.
You could. I mean, that truly is their investment in xCloud and streaming. And, I mean, you even look at their PC environment. Everything is pushing towards OneDrive and 365. It is all about getting on as many devices as possible. And they said that their emphasis is they've seen player trends, and it shows that players use multiple devices and platforms, and that they've released games on multiple platforms before. So they're openly admitting, we know our players play lots of different places, and basically, they just want them to play everywhere. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want your players to play on any device possible? And they, again, only mentioned hardware and device. They didn't use the word console. I think it's all corporate speak priming people for not tomorrow, not next month, not 2025, but maybe 26, 27.
Yeah, the back half of the decade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you start to get to 2030, and we're looking at PlayStation 6, 6.5, Xbox, I don't even know what their numbering convention would be, but there's going to be a shift eventually.
Yeah, I can see that coming down the pike as well.
But in the meantime, PlayStation and Nintendo fans, get ready for some fun Xbox exclusives on your consoles.
All right. And on that note, we got to leave the entertainment realm and get right to our final topic, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to and why? Why, Rich?
Inadvertently, this might be the Canadian episode. This one we're going to Calgary.
Oh my!
Oh,
Yeah, that is in Canada.
I forgot about the Calgary Flames. That's another hockey team.
What about them? What do they do?
They're another hockey team.
Oh, there's a team, the Calgary Flames.
Yeah,
that's NHL.
Yep.
I literally know nothing about hockey.
Obviously, you don't. Yes.
No.
There are quite a lot of Canadian teams.
Ah, very good. Yes.
Yes.
Our fine people to the north.
Yes. Well, they have an odd news story. Look, Calgary didn't make the sports sampler, but they're going to make the non-fortune cookie odd news.
They got to show up somehow, right?
So there you go. Represent
yeah.
Calgary. Good job.
Congrats to you. All right. So what did Calgary do?
All right. This is a short story, but this is quite an interesting business tactic, if you will. In an apparent bid to drum up customers for his business, a Canadian drug dealer got small samples of cocaine, put them into little envelopes and baggies with his business card on them, and handed them out to people.
I'm on drugs again.
Yeah, that's a way to get some business. Here's a free sample.
He went to Costco. He's like, hold on. It's like, this is a really good idea. Yeah. Has anybody ever thought of this?
For drugs?
And then he realized why.
I'm on drugs again.
Do most drug dealers have business cards?
This one does.
So it's just like Bob Boberson, drug dealer. Cocaine, meth, heroin. You just like list all the drugs you deal, or like a phone number. Like, do people email drug orders?
So, according to the police report, the business card had his initials, his name, and then just driver in quotes. Driver.
Okay. So
I can drive some things to you, if you know what I mean.
It's kind of like Uber Eats.
I'd buy that for $1.
Uber drugs?
Uber drugs, yeah. Can we just get that out of the way now?
I think that's a good business opportunity right there for Uber.
I just love drivers in quotation
Driver.
marks.
So I guess the cops. I guess what gave it away was the card being attached to a bag of cocaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how did the cops know? And then I forgot the second part of it.
Right. He actually had samples to give out.
But did he have his contact information on the business card? Like, how do people hire him as a driver?
It did.
Of course it did.
The police report notes that it had a fake name, the word driver, contact information, and then the small baggie stapled to the business card.
He used a fake name.
Yes.
But real contact info.
Yes.
I mean,
so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I mean, how else are people supposed to get in contact with you, though?
Yeah,
the contact info has to be accurate. So that's how they found him, I assume.
Yes.
They just emailed him. They're like, "Dear driver,
yeah,
we would like to be driven. Can you pick us up?" Like, how do people get in touch with Mr. Drugs?
Okay. Well, first off, his real name. This is 30-year-old Saeed Amir Razavi.
Okay.
That's his real name. According to the business card, though, his contact name was just Lee.
Okay. Lee, keep it short and simple.
Yep. And driver was in quotation marks with his contact information. He was giving them out outside of a casino in Calgary.
Wow.
That is a good idea. Who's got tons of energy and disposable income? Casino goers.
Yep.
They're
probably already a little tipsy, a little woozy, so yeah.
That I gotta say that's a good call. I'm pretty happy about that one.
Did he have was he just standing around with like a bag of small bags, or did he have like a lemonade stand?
Oh no!
Paint the picture for me. Is he handing them out Or is he like advertising? Come on, come on.
He had he was standing outside of the casino and just handed out the cards with the cocaine that was stapled onto the cards. When a probe got him arrested, I mean, really, is this a probe? I mean,
you're not really probing. You're just like
you're just following what you heard from everybody. Hey, there's a
Yeah.
guy.
You're just following the trail of cocaine back to him.
Yeah, this is not really a shock.
No.
Probe investigation here.
No, they're not probing.
Yeah. So they busted him in front of the casino. Then they searched his car. In his car, they found $1,280 of cash and 50 bags of sample cocaines.
Wow, he had a large marketing budget.
Yeah, he was ready to go for this.
Wow.
This is initiative. This is
He's giving away all his product though.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
I guess so, yeah.
You got to start at a loss.
You got to spend money to make money.
Yes.
You got to spend cocaine to make cocaine.
That's correct. That's how this works. You got to start off small and then work your way up, and then soon, then you're at Scarface level.
Right. You too can have your own cartel.
Yes. Oh man.
That's something else.
Yeah. I love this dude.
That's such a brazen
Mr. Lee.
Mr. Lee.
That's his alias here.
That's such a brazen thing to do. I love it. Just standing outside the casino, just handing out samples. Would you like a sample? Would you like a sample?
Yes. Yeah, and you know where to go because my
That's right.
contact information.
That's right. If you like this, make sure you hit me up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You
No,
know?
hit me up with my contact information that's totally legitimate right on the card.
What contact info did he have? Was it like email and phone number? Was it like social media handles? Like how are people getting in touch with him?
It was
I'd like to imagine they had
a
like
phone number.
A phone number. Oh, that's boring. Somebody had like a Hotmail email account. You know?
Yeah, at Hotmail.
Like Mr. Lee at Hotmail.
At AOL.com.
Yeah.
That would be pretty bad.
Yahoo.com.
We can't trust a drug dealer if it's at AOL.com.
No, absolutely
At
not.
Yahoo, all right. At least they're still around.
Are they? Yeah, actually, they are. They're pretty big.
Yeah, they're still around.
For some reason.
So that one's fine.
But AOL or Hotmail? Nope.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Yes. That's what he gets for doing this outside of a casino. I get the logic. The first half of your plan is completely wrong.
Right.
But the second half of your plan, you know your clientele.
If
casino.
he was a bit more sly about it, like, it's not a terrible idea to like post up outside a casino.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is probably already happening there all the time. So he's got the location aspect of the business.
Yes.
He
knows his clientele.
Right. Didn't really think it through though.
Right. He is going to get charged with narcotics possession and drug trafficking charges.
That's a shame. That's a real shame.
Yeah. Well, he'll have to expand his business in the Canadian prison.
Yeah, I could imagine he could get a lot of clients there.
Yeah, I think that would be a good spot to grow the business.
Right.
You're going to be there for a couple years, so why not? You might as well take your time.
Exactly.
Let's see. Do I got time for another quick one?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think I can squeeze this in.
All right, let's do it.
All right. This one is a quick story as well. Going to Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah, Ohio.
Wow, no stories from Florida.
Yeah, I guess they went to the Super Bowl too. I guess they.
Okay, I guess everybody needs a break every once in a while.
Yeah, they watched the Super Bowl and had
Florida
to do Valentine's
is
Day.
still hungover. From that. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
So next week they're going to be back with a vengeance.
We'll see.
But for now, we're going to Ohio.
Yes.
The land of Cleveland.
Yes. Quick little story here. We're going to talk about the case of 28-year-old Carnal Gittens.
You say Carnald?
Carnal Gittins. Carnel. Carnal Gittins.
Carnal?
Carnal. Not Carl. This is Carnal. Carnal.
Carnal. Like, that's kind of like weird, right?
Yes, it is. That's a weird name.
Carnal Gittins?
Gittins, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carnal, like of the flesh.
With an E instead of an A.
Okay. Anyway, what did Carnal do?
Well, he apparently really needs a library outlet.
Okay.
Because Cardinal Gittins has been the ire of security and cops in the area of a Ohio library. This is it. Wow. Hey, Tommy boy, this is outside Sandusky.
Oh, Sandusky, Ohio. Yeah.
Right. Near, what was it? Callahan Auto Parts.
Callahan Auto Parts. That's right.
There you go. You should have went there, not this library. So this is in Sandusky, Ohio. This is the public library there.
Okay.
He apparently needed an outlet to charge his phone, and this is the only outlet that can charge his phone.
Okay.
Nowhere else. This is it. This is the one outlet.
He didn't have access to outlets anywhere else?
Nope.
Okay.
This is the one outlet.
So he goes to this library to just charge his phone?
Yes.
Like every day?
Yes. Well, he would stay there after closing to charge the phone. According to cops, he would be there anywhere from 10 p.m. all the way to 1:30 in the morning.
How? But how?
He would just drive up there and hang outside.
Oh, outside.
Yeah, he's outside. This is outside.
Oh, there's an outside outlet.
Yes.
Weird.
He
drives to the library, plugs his phone in outside, but it's like the middle of winter.
Oh, good for you.
I guess the cold doesn't bother him. So he's A-okay.
So he drove his car.
He
there because you could charge your phone in your car.
It doesn't say he has a car.
Oh, he just showed up.
He's just showing up.
So he walked to the library with his phone and his charger to charge his phone.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Because it doesn't say he has a car.
Okay. All right. I stand corrected. So Carnal,
yes,
is charging his phone.
Yes.
Outside the library.
Yes.
At like midnight.
Yeah, anywhere from 10 p.m. to 1:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Well, he did this 3 nights in a row. And then on Saturday night, the cops had to be called because they were afraid that he was going to break into the library. It does seem suspicious that this guy is showing up constantly.
Oh, yeah.
After closing.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you couldn't do it while it was still... You could go into the library.
Yeah, why don't you read a book while you're at it? You love this library so much.
Right, you go inside, you charge your phone, you're reading a book, you're edumacating yourself, you're charging your devices.
Yeah.
And it's all within normal business hours.
Yeah, normal people stuff.
Yeah.
But no, he's got to do this at night. So, yeah, Saturday night, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. They called the police on him. Third time was the charm.
Three strikes and you're out.
Yeah,
yep.
3 strikes, you're out. We can't deal with this. So a officer then confronted him, asked him what he was doing. He said he was charging his phone.
Okay.
They asked him why did they feel the need for him to be here 3 nights in a row?
You have to charge your phone every night. Duh.
Yep. That's when he also said that, quote, "My name is Cloud."
Okay. Like the things in the sky?
Yes.
Right.
And I've checked with Christ. He told me I can be here. Yes.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Yes. Yes, Jesus
Because-
told me. Yes. This is the outlet I have to charge at.
Can you imagine, like,
She's not a Christian!
the things that God and Jesus have to deal with, but this guy's like, yo, can I charge my phone? And they're like, yes, you can.
Yes.
I bless it.
This is satisfactory.
I got direct communication with the Almighty, and the most pressing matter that I had to discuss was where to charge my phone.
Yes.
What a waste of a prophet.
Yeah. I am the prophet of phones.
If I were a god, I'd be like, why? Why are you the conduit?
Stop bothering me with this.
Stop bothering me. I told you, go charge your phone.
Yeah. Why does it have to be at that library?
That's amazing.
Yes. So, yeah, he repeatedly claimed that he was talking with Christ.
Of course.
And that allowed him to be on the property at 1:30 in the morning.
Obviously.
He also said that his name is Cloud. He's the prophet named Cloud.
Yep. That makes sense because the clouds are close to heaven in the sky, I guess. What?
This is an all-Canadian episode. Also, Gittin says that he's originally from Canada.
Where?
And he has, quote, been wandering around Ohio.
What?
This is his journey, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I'm just wandering around Ohio.
I'm wandering around Sandusky, Ohio.
That sounds like the worst place to wander.
Yeah, you could have gone, if you're wandering, you could have gone anywhere in the United States and Canada.
I mean, I guess Ohio's kind of close to Canada.
But yeah, why Sandusky, Ohio? Why the library? Just
so
Jesus
weird.
told you? So is Jesus telling him this library you have to go to?
Jesus said, my son,
you must go to
Sandusky, Ohio.
Sandusky. They need your presence.
That is the promised land. Sandusky, Ohio. Go there, my child. Worship at the public library. Make
And
sure
power
electronic
your phone.
devices are powered.
Power your phone while you're there. You need to be able to use your phone and your light phone.
I'm in the dark here.
So I will say this about Sandusky. I did not know that it was a lake town, and it's like right there. It's one of the closest points in Ohio to Canada. I guess there's like that bit of Canada that comes down into that lake there, Lake Erie. This is just so dumb.
Yeah. He was booked into the Erie County Jail for criminal trespass, and he remains locked up there on a $1,750 bond. So
he couldn't get Jesus to bail him out?
Yeah, apparently not. Nope. Sorry.
First, Jesus tells him to go to the library, charge his phone, and then he's not even there to bail him out in the end.
God works in mysterious ways.
What a lousy friend.
Yeah.
First, he gets him in trouble, then he doesn't help him make bail.
Yeah. But there you go.
There you go. The promised land of Sandusky, Ohio with the prophet Cloud.
Yeah. What a story.
It sounds like a beginning of like a weird fantasy novel. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or like a weird rock album. Like a prog rock album.
Sandusky, Ohio and the prophet Cloud.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a concept album.
Yeah. Got to work on it. Preferably outside of the library.
Right, of course.
But there you go, folks. That is the odd news I have for you, and that is the show for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in and supporting our little show. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, hubbabaloo. But most importantly, make sure you are hooked in to getting the podcast sent to you every week. Two main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and you will get the episode sent to you every week. Second way to do it is on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify, but you can also put us in the background on Spotify and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you, so you can have the Crispy Noodle podcast wherever you go, whatever library you may venture into and or outside of to charge your phone.
You got to keep it charged up to listen to the episode.
That's right. So, you know, don't get arrested for trespassing, but yeah, charge that phone. Make sure you listen to the Crispy Noodle podcast.
Oh, so many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast, but if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, and odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on X. Let us know what's happening. If there's a topic you want us to discuss on next week's episode, send it our way. Odd news goes to me so that Mikey doesn't see it. But we take all considerations, all suggestions into consideration. And if we do use your topic, we'll give you a sausage shout out. So make sure to get those requests in. But for right now, we got to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Noodle podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.